I was all up in these streets, you could say I get around. Oh, I was only thinking about me, but I think that I might have found.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Brandy Lamisty, and I'm coming at you to do an intro about myself and who I am and the type of YouTube videos I'm gonna do. This one is entitled "How do you know you want a divorce?" or "How do you know that it's ready?" I'm reading off my notes. Or "How do you know you're ready for divorce?" So before I get into that, I have been trying to do YouTube for at least, I want to say 7 years now. But I just always had a reason or excuse of why I never did it. And so lately, it's just been like, how like you can just feel like it's time for something to happen. And I just keep feeling like it's time for me to do YouTube. So, at first when I wanted to do YouTube, I wanted to do hair tutorials. I wanted to do makeup tutorials and shopping hauls and all that type of stuff. But as the years have gone past, I've realized like what I do for a living is probably one of the biggest things that I probably should be promoting on YouTube. I am a life coach, and I am a paralegal, and I'm an event planner. So I'm actually an ordained minister too. So I have these titles, but it's like, how could I collaborate them all with YouTube? So I was like, well, we got plenty of the beauty gurus, and we got all of that. We got the hair tutorials, got the wigs, where to get them from, how to do them, install them, everything. But we don't have enough real life stuff except for celebrity life. And their life ain't even that real. So I decided, and everybody been telling me for years, Brandy, you need to get on YouTube. You need to get on YouTube. You need to get on YouTube. So I was like, well, okay. If I go on YouTube, I don't want my channel to I don't want to have enough content where people not coming back. So it was just like, then people kept saying, well, use your own life story. I was like, shoot, I ain't got enough time in the world to tell my life story. But as I have grown and gotten older, I really see how my life story can help other people. I see how what I do could help people on YouTube. So yeah, I'll be doing those mukbangs or mukbang, whatever you call them. Mukbang, whatever. I'll be doing those. I'll be doing challenges because they're fun. So my channel won't be so serious all the time. So, I just wanted to introduce who I am. I will do a Q&A on my next video. To say I'll get some questions offline and say who I am and things like that. But I wanted to be more positive, like a more positive channel, due to the fact that what I'm going to talk about is real life. And a lot of times people be going through things, but they don't want to say anything to anybody. So I want to discuss what you really are going through. So the reason I'm starting off my channel with the divorce series is because so many people are going through divorce right now. I marry a lot of people and I divorce a lot of people. I know you're like, dang, you're a hypocrite. No. I believe in love, and I believe that sometimes it doesn't work out too. So, and in the process, I can mediate both sides. So I don't divorce every client that comes to me. If I feel like they're just mad or angry, or they just need some time to cool off, I'll hold their file before I even process it. Before I process it, because I want to make sure. I've saved so many marriages because they were just mad. So, again, I'm going to go back to the topic. How do you know you want a divorce, or if that's the right decision? Now, I personally have been through a divorce. I never really believed in divorce, but the way I got married and how I did it, I knew I was going to end up in divorce. I say that to say, when I got married, I knew it was a wrong decision. I wasn't young. I was old enough to know better. So all through my life, I've had a lot of hell. you know, I had to grow up fast, and you know, I had to put myself in a girls' home when I was 17. So, you know, I was just like, you know, I met this guy, and I was just like, I had worked with him prior, and you know, like we ran into each other later on social media, and we started hooking up. You know, like our first date was in Boston, Massachusetts. We had met up after so many years. We went to Boston, and then we went to New York City. You know, like we did like the three little cities that's like right there in Maryland. I flew out, came back and flew out of Maryland. So you know, after that, we both lived in two different states. So we would travel back and forth, back and forth. Um, the relationship moved very, very fast. It was very fast. Like, I won't say how fast, but it moved really fast. That's all I'm gonna say. I kind of knew that I was moving too fast, and sometimes we know we don't want to accept it. So I guess after a little while, he came to me and was like, "I think we should get married," and I'm like, "Okay." You know, the issue was he was on business side. I had the business part that he didn't know. He had the income. And so we took his income, took my brains, put together. But even though we had fun together, kind of, it wasn't like best friends, or like we can really sit and it wasn't the best for us to get married. So we get married, and the day that we get married, we just go to the Justice of the Peace. I'm pacing the hallways. Like, should I be doing this? Like, you know, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? And I just kept saying, like, I knew I shouldn't be doing it. But what I had been through in my earlier life, I just felt like, okay, I'll finally have somebody who's going to love me unconditionally. My husband's going to treat me like the princess that I never got to be treated like from my father, since my father wasn't there. You know, so I finally get, you know, that love that I'm looking for from a man. No. And so, you know, like I get into it, I'm like, you know, even the first day, his mom finds out that we done went and got married. He didn't tell her we was gone. We only had told my mom. My mom was out of state. So she going off on him, going off on me, makes me cry on the wedding day. So that was already a sign. And so I'm going to speed this up. So long story short, we got married. A whole bunch of stuff happened. I found out a lot about him that I didn't know. And I probably wouldn't have I do'd if I had known the other part. You know, so he's not a bad person at all. Long story short, he just ain't for me. So, and I ain't for him. So, you know, it's like, you get to a point like, how do you know you want the divorce? Well, everybody's situation is different. Sometimes I'm telling my story because sometimes you have the signs even before you get married. So it's like, if the signs are already there, it's more than likely you may end up in divorce because it was already a questionable situation from the beginning. So I'm answering, how do you know when it's time? First of all, you have to look at your situation. Are you in love with the person? Do you respect the person? Can y'all talk to each other? When's the last time that you all have enjoyed each other's company? No marriage is going to be perfect. Everything doesn't have to end in divorce. But it's like, how do you know it's even a question? People can get mad at their spouse or their significant other and be like, they're ready for divorce instantly. Don't let emotion tell you that it's time for divorce, because that's emotion. That's anger. It's an emotion. You know, confusion. It's an emotion. You know, so frustration. It's an emotion. So don't get divorced based on emotion. And, you know, don't let someone else tell you that you should be divorced, because you will have friends that you tell this, so girl, I think I'm gonna get divorced. Girl, go ahead and do it. They going through the same thing. Girl, I'm gonna do it too. You'll get divorced, and that other person, sorry, my camera battery, anyway, that person, they'll still be married. So don't do what somebody else tells you. Do what's best for you. Only you know if it's time for a divorce. You know if it starts affecting your health, starts affecting your spirituality, starts affecting your whole overall aura. Like you just notice you change, you start changing into that person. You find out you're angry at everything around you. Nothing makes you happy. You yelling at your kids, you yelling at the dog, you having problems at work, you yelling at the people in traffic coming home. You may want to look at your situation. I would always say before you get divorced, go to counseling. If you can go to counseling, you can always go to a life coach that, specializes. Sorry, something's in my eye. You can always go to a life coach that specializes in couple therapy. Go to a pastor, things like that. I won't say get divorced right away. I always say wait. I was separated for 3 years and then I decided to get divorced. I have actually been separated longer than that in my mind. I was married 7 and separated in my mind 6. So 6.5 in my mind. So you can tell that I wasn't connected because how I would act, how he would act. And somebody know when you ain't acting a certain way with them, that person know people ain't stupid. So it's just like a dumb decision on my part. Okay. I hear something in here, y'all. I think it's the lady's dog upstairs. I be hearing stuff in his room. And I was like, what is that? I don't know if y'all care. Anyway, y'all probably think I'm crazy, but I'm like, I heard it yesterday. And I was telling my brother coming here, like, listen to this noise. But anyway, so I'm sorry. I'm still like hearing the noise. Okay, so anyway, so you have to know when things are for you. Is it a feeling that you're going to feel like it's time for divorce? No, it's not a feeling. When your heart and your mind don't connect, you just know. But never let somebody else tell you and make a decision for you. There are situations where the one spouse wants to get married and the other one doesn't. I mean, if that's the case, you might want to see if there's a way that you all can mend it. But then sometimes that spouse doesn't want to let go, and that person wants to continue to live their side life, where this person is like, okay, I want it to be over, and they trying to wait for this person to come to agree, and they don't. So when it's time, like there is no full moon gonna come out and say, okay, it's time. It isn't like a revelation gonna come. What's enough for you to deal with in your relationship. Nobody can tell you how much you can deal with, or how much you've been through, or how much longer you can take, or what is your snapping point. Don't get to a point where you snap and you do something drastic and you end up in jail, because it happens. People get so angry that person does something to them and they just snap. And you hear about relationships all the time where this person, like the lady who was breaking up and the dude bit her lip off. It's crazy. Fatal attraction. It's real. So don't get to a point where it's dangerous. Some people stay because they're scared. If you're scared, reach out to someone. Talk to somebody. Let them know what you're going through so they can help you get the proper steps to get out of this situation. So to answer the question, how do you know you want a divorce or if it's the right decision? You know when you've had enough of someone, but never make a decision based off emotion. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm not you and nobody else is. So nobody can say that's enough. I might eat a hamburger and say, this is so good. And you might taste it and be like, oh, what do you taste that's good? Nobody can tell you when it's time. You have to know that you've had enough. You have to know that you can't take anymore. You have to know that this is not a good fit. You have to acknowledge that. Not your mother, not your father, not your friend, not your best friend, not your cousin, not your coworker, not your pastor, not your life coach, not TV, not Love and Hip Hop, not nobody. Can't nobody tell you when it's time or how you know. You just have to make the decision to make sure that you're basing it off the right elements. So, with that being said, how do you know? That decision comes in here. It's in your gut instinct. It's not anything that anybody can tell you. You know when. And my next video will be, what is life after divorce, or what is it like going through a divorce? Because I answered, when do you know? So the next thing is, what is it like going through a divorce? And I'm going to end my video here. And I am Brandy Lemisty. Yes, that is my name. It's my first and middle name. And I'm going to be doing a real life series of real life things, because we don't have enough of it. And I feel like it would actually make me feel better to help other people go through some of the things that I've been through, because I know I'm not the only one who's been through it. So with that being said, I'm going to end it on